Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Digital Nomad World weekly series. I'm Becky, and once again, I'm going to be your host. And today, we're going to be talking about transforming your workspace, ergonomic hacks for a pain free digital nomad life with my guest, Mike Jones. Mike, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
We are very excited to hear about this because I think it's something everybody, not only digital nomads, but the world suffers from. So if you can help us in any way, we're here for it.
Right, I'm gonna try my best.
Okay. First of all, I'd love to hear about your background and how you started your digital nomad life.
Okay. Well, first, I want to introduce myself. My name is Michael Jones. I'm an author, ergonomist, and I'm also the CEO and founder of Pain Free Me Studios here in Bangkok, Thailand. And I've been working, helping people live pain free for almost, oh my God, almost 20 years now. Yeah, it's a long time. So
That's
I have to
fantastic.
say, I first started my digital nomad journey was back in 2014. I was living in LA at the time where I had a very successful practice, but my successful practice was burning me out. And I was at this point in my life where it was either, buy the house and live that, dream and or live abroad because that's something I've always wanted to do. And I was very happy to have chosen the latter of the two and moved abroad. So I started my journey moving from LA to Chiang Mai, Thailand. And that's where I was able to kind of start my online business. And at that time, I was doing a lot of social media management and SEO articles for different nutraceutical companies, a lot of supplement companies. And that basically did me very well for quite a long time, for about 3 years. And then I got to this point where I was myself sitting down for long periods of time. I was like, why is my back hurting? Because Michael, you're sitting in this coffee shop for the last 8 hours, hammering out these articles and posts. You almost forgot about this part of your life, the recovery part. And around this time, I just moved to Bangkok, and I said, you know what? I really miss having that hands-on help with people. Watching them come into my practice and then watching them leave pain-free, upright. I forgot what it is to have that joy. And I just made a few calls, and I was like, let's see if there's a need for this, and it definitely was, and then now it's snowballed into what it is today. Having my studio and helping people in person and online.
That's so wonderful. And I agree. Like, we do forget about ourselves when we're sitting because sitting just seems like a natural thing. But of
Mhm.
course, we are sitting so much more than we did in our history. And we don't even think about all the ramifications of that.
You really don't. But I think now, so more than ever, we're starting to wake up to this. I think as people maybe kind of like in our generation, we're starting to start looking at our parents and grandparents and like, okay, they're always in pain. Why is grandma and grandpa kind of slumped over all the time? I don't want to be like that. So we're starting to make those steps now to kind of, upgrade ourselves.
How did you first get interested in ergonomics yourself?
Well, I always noticed there was like a gap that happened when like I said, people would come into my practice and they would be feeling great. And maybe I'll see them maybe a week or a few days later, and then they're just slumped over like this again. And I would ask them, like, what have you been doing? I was like, have you been doing the exercise? Like, oh yeah, I've done everything. I was like, then why are we having this postural collapse? And they're like, I didn't do anything. I just went to work. And that's when the light bulb went off, was like, work. These people are sitting down at their desks for 8 to 10 hours a day, no movement, no nothing. So I started with my clients. I started asking them if they can take a picture of themselves sitting at their office, at their desk. And I'm getting these pictures, and I'm like, everyone looks like the letter C. They're just slumped over, neck is out, the laptop's down here, maybe poor quality chair. And I'm like, this is what's happening, from when they're coming in, when they're leaving my office to, next time I see them. They're at work, and this workplace is a very unhealthy way of being for this amount of time. So I went back to school, started getting more knowledge in ergonomics, And I became that kind of go-to person that can actually help somebody from every step you know, leaving my office feeling pain-free to when they go to work pain-free and they can carry it out into the gym or the playing field so they can have kind of that full circle feeling of being pain-free.
That's wonderful. So you're mentioning like that people are coming, you're seeing them like with the postural collapse, like the C shape. What are some
Yes.
other common issues that you're seeing when digital nomads and other clients come into your office?
Well, I would say with digital nomads, the most I see is the lower back pain because as the digital nomad, you're working any and every coffee shop, and those coffee shops might not have a proper chair, it might just have a bar stool, and you're there on your laptop and you're just slumped forward using that trackpad and your mouse, like using the mouse like this. So digital nomads and remote workers are just in such just compromised positions for such long periods of time, and on top of that, the travel that we're doing on planes, trains, and automobiles getting to the next destination, and then just also the different beds. They're going from hotel room to hostel to this to that. So it's just so much wearing down on our bodies. So just say with the digital nomads, a lot of remote workers, lots of lower back pain just being in these compromised positions for just such long periods of time, and just with the poor ergonomic setups.
Yeah, I confess that I'm one of those people that work from my bed. I just don't, there's probably something going on with my posture, but it does not feel comfortable to me to sit at a desk. So I end up
Mhm.
with pillows and I'm using the bed in my studio apartment if I'm in Asia, which seems to be pretty common. Like I would say a
Yes,
lot of
never.
nomads would agree. Um, do you have any tips or what is that okay for me or am I really doing some like long-term damage?
Definitely, I would not recommend working in the bed. And I have many of my clients, they're wondering why, they might not be progressing, with a pain-free lifestyle. And so I say, can you please not work in the bed? They're like, it's same thing. Well, I have the pillow behind me. I'm like, yeah, that pillow's also pushing you forward too. And the laptop is right in your lap and you're looking down like this. Many people don't know each centimeter our ears are in front of our shoulders. Gravity's going to put weight down on our heads. So, like, say if you have maybe just a few centimeters of forward head posture, that's almost like 10 pounds or about 5 kilos worth of pressure that's coming down on your cervical spine and lower back. So, it's very important that we have to keep that posture while we're sitting. And some of the best ways to keep the posture is, while sitting in a chair to something that has some proper lumbar support.
Okay. So, what are some of the best tips you could give for us? Like, what's the best way to sit? How many
Mhm.
hours should we stay seated? And what about stand-up desks? Is that something we really should try to strive for? Are those as legit good for you as you hear?
Okay, first I always like to start with just getting like just a little healthier desk setup, and this is actually really easy to do because again, I know as remote workers, and digital nomads, you might not have access to having a chair, proper chair time. So I always tell people like if you could just carry a towel around with you, you could take it, you fold it in half. Sorry, take it again, fold it in half, and you can kind of just fold it down and almost kind of to a good width for your back. And you can just literally put this on the back of your chair, just with a little bit of lumbar support. And just doing that, you can automatically feel like, oh, wow, this is actually some pressure being taken off my back. You're getting just some support. And again, a towel, you can get that anywhere. And just really just start just right there, like just getting that proper lower back support. So that'd be one thing that you can do. And again, you can bring this anywhere, put this in your bag, and there you go.
Yeah, you can use that at the coffee shop. People are going to know what you're
Exactly.
doing
And no,
when they
no one
see
will
it.
notice. No one will care. Another thing, I always get questions about stand-up desks. Stand-up desks, they're fantastic. Because again, you're standing up, and people who are at standing desks typically move more around the office. So which is great because they're not as sedentary. So I am a big advocate for stand-up desk. If you can have one, they're great because plans can be a little pricey. So, but if you're able to have one, they're fantastic. But with everything, there's always like a little slight drawback. I get a lot of my clients say, yes, I have this stand-up desk, my back is feeling much better, but guess what? Now my feet hurt. So, so again, it's like those little things that, we have to kind of, tweak to make our work experience a little bit better.
Did ask a friend recently who uses a stand-up desk, and he said they're great, but try to stand on something soft like a yoga mat,
Yeah.
or that he
Mhm.
said that's really helped him.
Exactly. Yeah. So again, it's a drawback. Again, it's not as bad as the, back pain, but just, like, okay, my feet hurt. I've been standing up for the last 8 hours.
So would you say, because I really find it's hard to find stand-up desks. I mean,
Mhm.
co-working spaces, it's very rare to see them.
It's very
Even
rare.
even
Yes.
rare to see a surface that's high enough to
Mhm.
make your own or to put your desk up there. So would you say the second best thing is the towel with like some kind of chair?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, just bringing the towel. That's going to be the easiest for anybody. But just say one thing that's very important to remember is we have to take our posture breaks. On
Okay.
my it's on my Instagram page. I'm always telling people, like, reminding them it's time for our posture breaks. And basically, a posture break is just you standing up, moving, stretching. If you can just take maybe a minute or two, maybe every hour or so, to just stretch and move and just walk around, you're doing your body such an amazing service. You're getting the body to circulate again. It's going to help to kind of refresh the mind a little bit because, again, we're just sitting there, we're focused on our work. It's not necessarily the best thing for us. So we just need to move around, take a quick break, freshen up the mind, and we can jump back in there and tackle the work that's in front of us. Posture breaks are very short, 2 minutes, and can just do your body a world of service.
Would you say it's as powerful as drinking that next cup of coffee if you're just sitting
It's even
there?
more powerful. It's even more powerful than coffee. You won't have the crash.
That's true. Okay, another question I have for you is, we've got the desk set up or we have the standing desk. What orientation should your computer be from your arms? Like, should it be right across from you so you're not looking up, you're not looking down, ideally, or is it better to have a little bit below you so you're resting your
When
hands
it
down?
comes to, yeah, when it comes to, kind of getting that monitor setup. You always want it to be about eye level. Sometimes I like to put it a little bit below eye level, and then having it at an arm's width away from you. That's going to be the best setup again. But with ergonomics, it's all about customize, the fitting the person to the job. But I have to say, just as a general practice, you want it to be just a tiny bit below your eye level and an arm's width away.
Okay, that's a really good tip. Also, this is maybe more for the women out there. I tend to sit with my legs crossed. And I've noticed when I go to the hospital or the doctor to get my blood pressure checked, they say uncross your legs. It's affecting the blood pressure test. And the first time they told me that, I was like, really? So is it better to not cross our legs while working
Our
or
feet should be flat on the ground because what happens is when we cross our legs actually reduces the circulation to our pelvic region. So again, that causes all kinds of other issues. So it's always best just please both feet on the ground. And sometimes we may have some people who are maybe not as tall. Just get like a nice little book and just put your feet on that, just flat on the ground. You want everything to be nice and aligned. Hips should be aligned with the knees should be aligned with the ankles.
Okay. Now, is there anything outside of our desk setup? You've talked about the posture breaks. Like, is it best, okay, end of the workday, you do like a 5 to 10 minute stretching routine, or you make sure you go to yoga twice a week, or what are some other things we can do for our posture when we're not working at our desks?
I always say just more awareness. See, I know I have so many people, they're doing the corrective exercises and things that I assign to them. But I always tell people just be aware of your posture. Because we live such busy lives and we're on our phones and things like that, especially the phone. That's another one. We get on that phone, everything starts to come forward. It's like our lives now, our world is, kind of set up to bring us down and forward. So I always tell people just be aware of your posture. When you have your phone, please bring it up, so to eye level and just have that awareness. That's going to be the most major thing that you can do when it comes to postural awareness.
So funny to think about. We talk so much about working at our desks and our laptops, but we forget how much damage we're doing when we are holding our phones. And,
Yes.
I feel like we should have a little device that we're carrying around. One more thing for the digital nomad
One
suitcase,
more thing. One
where
more
it's
thing.
yeah, where you're standing up with that phone and you can just have it there, kind of like Minority Report with Tom Cruise, where you're just
Right.
touching, instead of holding it, looking down.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
great. Don't know if I want to
Yeah.
pack it. Maybe that's why it's not
No.
popular.
Yeah, because we're spending sometimes, we're on at our desk and on the phone at the same time. So, we're just we have so many attachments right now, digital attachments that again, our posture is suffering so much from it.
Yes. So I would imagine you would suggest even more that doing things outside of work that is movement based is very important. Going for
Very
walks, I would
important.
say.
It's walking is the new walking is actually better than you from running. Like that's a whole we can go into that for a long time. But get out there walking, stretching, just taking a few minutes because I've worked with thousands of people over the years, and then one thing they don't like to stretch. And I try to tell them, okay, at least start give me it's just a few minutes, give me 2 or 3 minutes per day of stretching. And people are like, okay, I can do that. And by the end of the week, they said, you know what? I do feel the difference of just taking those just few minutes and stretch. I don't feel tension and tightness in my body. My neck and lower back doesn't hurt as much. I'm like, yeah, just doing those things because we're so compressed throughout our day that we need to, elongate our body, create that space so we can move easier.
Yeah, for sure. Are there any tips you have for our hands? Because they're in a lot of the same positions, and I know carpal tunnel is a thing.
Purple tackle, trigger finger's the new one.
Oh,
you know,
really?
that
Yeah.
we're texting like crazy, constantly hitting the space bar. So we're getting this trigger finger effect. Just doing those occupational stretches that we all know, we've all seen them. We just not necessarily don't do them. It's just, the wrist is going to be a very good one to kind of target. It's just putting the hands together, rolling, left, and then reversing, the very good one. And then also just shaking out the hands. And these are just simple things to do. Like I said, shaking up the hands, going to get some circulation in there. So I know sometimes after a day of work, your hands kind of clammy, kind of cold. Shake it in there, get that circulation going. So this is something you can easily do on your posture break.
Okay. Yeah, great to stack the
Mm.
skills there, stack the stretches.
Exactly, exactly. And do it throughout your day.
Yeah, I know people may be aware of this, but there are also a lot of other benefits to good posture. Can you
Mm.
share some of those with us? Why is it
When
important to
I
have good posture?
Right. One of them I always like to pick out because, let's be real, we're vain people. With good posture, they look longer and leaner in their clothes. There's a lot more confidence that comes from people who have good posture. I always say, are you going to talk to the person who's standing upright, looking good, or the person who's slumped over like this? Which one would you want to go talk to? So I have to say when it comes to that, the vanity posture is also a really good thing. And also when it comes from movement, I always like to show people this, like, when we're dealing with kind of any kind of pain, let's say, this is the vertebrae in our spine, and there's a little disc right here. It's called a bursa. And this disc is almost like a cushion, so we can have that movement in our spine. But what happens is after sitting for long periods of time and poor posture, this bursa starts to get compressed. And this is when bulging discs happen, sciatica happens, okay? And we know
Slipped
sciatica is
disc?
not a,
Is that
I'm
also a
sorry?
slipped disc? Is that also
This exactly, exactly. I
okay?
think it's this coming out just like this. Okay, so this is one thing when we have good posture, we are really reducing our risk of injury because everything is moving smoothly across each other. Okay, there's no type of inflammation being developed in between the vertebrae. So that's another thing with posture. It keeps us out of pain.
Yes. I just thought of another very important question for nomads, and this is a
Mhm,
debate. Is it
mhm,
better to carry your backpack, everything in the backpack when you're moving from one place to another, or mostly putting all that stuff into a suitcase? I know we don't want to pay for checked luggage a lot of the times, but what is better for our backs?
Okay, again, this is one of those from your pocket standpoint, it would be better to carry it on your back. But again, carrying all that, I mean, that's a good about 20, 30 pounds that you're carrying. Don't ask me how that just happened.
You're like team, not team back. It looked like you were supporting the team backpack there, but
Right. I was like, I don't know how that happened. But you have to carry the backpack. What happens? We're getting slumped over. And you're walking again. I live in Bangkok. I see these people walking down the street and their big, huge backpacks just slumped over, looking tired and everything. So I always say if you can check the bag, that would be fantastic. I mean, you can roll it along. In the long run, it will help, your posture and reduce any kind of pain. So, I definitely see it from both, ends of the spectrum, from the posture and also from your pocket.
yeah, I have personally started doing the like pay for the 10 kilogram carry-on
Mhm,
bag so you can put a
mhm.
lot of that weight in there, but you still have
Yeah.
something on your back. It's just not making you really,
Exactly.
right.
Right. True.
Yeah.
Definitely helps. It definitely helps.
What about putting the backpack on the front of you? Like I see that with a lot
I,
of people.
yeah, that wouldn't get you're always going to get into that forward flexor position. It doesn't matter. So, just like I said, if you can, opt in for just, paying that, extra bucks and, separating your life into two bags, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. Over time, it's taking a toll that you're not thinking about, especially if you're a
Yeah,
constantly traveling digital nomad.
exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
On the flip side, for people that are working remotely, but let's say they have a home and they're mostly in one location, what is the best chair that you would recommend for them to buy for their ergonomic, like a
And
high
it's
ergonomic
another
quality?
question I get all the time because chairs can range from 50 bucks up to thousands of dollars. And I always tell people before you go make that investment, there's one thing that you can buy that's probably about 10 bucks. And I'm gonna show you too. It's called a posture cushion. And it's a little cushion just like this. We've probably seen these in the gym or wherever it is. By putting this in your chair, having a seat on it, it automatically engages your core. All right. So it's almost kind of like, you're doing a core workout and you can do active sitting. All right. And this helps your body to actually burn more calories while you're sitting. Usually your body's supposed to burn about 1 to 3 calories just by being, but by practicing active sitting, you can actually burn up to an extra 300 to 500 calories a day by doing, going side to side, doing pelvic tucks, just doing different exercises, different movements, bringing the legs up and down. Again, engaging that core, helping you with your balance. It's just keeping you active throughout your day. And when you're active throughout your day, you're going to definitely you're going to feel better, you're going to have more energy, and you're going to be in less pain.
That is a great tip, and that looks small enough to put into my 10 kilogram suitcase
There you
or a
go.
bag.
I mean, literally, yeah.
How is that quite light? How heavy is that
It's
your suit?
very, very light. It's very, very light. And also what I love about posture cushion, you actually can do a lot of exercise, a lot of balance exercises on this. You can do bridge, that's going to help support, I mean, help to engage your glutes, to help support your lower back. You can do plank on this, which is great core exercise. So there's all kinds of benefits, to just having a posture cushion with you, throughout your journey in
Okay, I
ways
think
like in ways like nothing.
I've never had one of those and I would like to try it. Looks
Yeah,
good.
definitely. Like I said, they're about maybe 10, 12 bucks. You're not going to break the bank on this one, and it's going to do you a world of difference. It's going to really help.
Okay, on the same note, so that is going to help us so much when we're working and sitting. What about sleeping? What are the best tips you have for like the best ergonomic sleep? Maybe you could settle the debate for us. Side sleeper, back sleeper, stomach sleeper?
Yeah. Of course, laying on the back is the best way to sleep. I think we might start that way. And then by the end of the day, we're all,
You're upside down.
arms are numb. We're sleeping on our arms. So I know many people, that can't sleep on the back. So I would say definitely if you sleep on the side, it's always good to have a pillow between your legs. So you're sleeping on the side like this. So when you have the pillow between the legs, it helps keep the spine aligned a little bit better. So, you're not going to be, curled up or anything like that. So it definitely helps out a little bit if you're a side sleeper to just put a pillow in between your legs.
Okay, that's better than like putting like hugging the pillow on the side because I know some people are
Right.
told that to stay on the side. There's these special
Yeah,
pillows.
especially little huggy pillows. Yeah, that, like I said, that thing when it comes to sleep posture, that's just really one of the most difficult things to kind of integrate into life. Because again, we're sleep, we don't have any control on our body because it kind of does what does what it does. So I would say, like, again, try on your back, and if that it becomes too difficult, try on the side with a pillow between the legs.
Okay, I do have another question for you. So when I'm traveling as a digital nomad for exercise, I noticed most nomads go to a yoga class, they go to
Mhm,
CrossFit, or they go to a gym. When they
mhm.
go to these one of these three places, what is the best one that you would recommend or the best exercise for helping with their posture and strengthening their back? I don't know.
Right.
Sometimes I think CrossFit is that doing too much? Is that actually doing damage? I say this as someone who's never done CrossFit, who is
Yeah.
CrossFit curious, but
I do CrossFit myself. I love it. Is it the best for your posture? No. It's
okay,
not.
I wasn't sure, but yeah.
Absolutely not. It's a very intense workout, very intense, heavy weight, heavy volume, very fast. So it's definitely not the best when it comes to, the posture and limiting injury. Some of the best exercises you can do is even in your room, your hotel room. Necessarily, you don't have to go to the gym. You can start by just doing bridge. And using your posture cushion, which helps to kind of make it a little bit more difficult, helps you engage your core a little bit more. Because I say when you're a traveling person, you always got to make sure you have good glute strength and hip mobility. So doing bridge is a very good one to do. And as far as stretches go, one called 90-90. You can look that up anywhere, but that's it. I have a few different 90-90 variations on my Instagram page. So those are going to be really good to do. Hip 90-90 is going to help with core and also really help with that hip mobility. All right. So anything that's going to help to stretch the hips and strengthen the glutes are going to be some great exercises to focus in on.
Okay. I like that despite you saying it's not good for your posture, you're still saying,
I'm
hey,
still
CrossFit's
doing it.
okay. Like
Yes. I'm
it's
one of the people I know how bad it can get. So I know when to stop with the weights, because the ego takes over. And I was like, I can do heavier. I'm like, no, you are all people know you should not do heavier than this. So I'm like, okay. I stopped.
yeah, but it sounds like you found a healthy balance and there it is possible to do things you love, but
Absolutely.
still come back, do the exercises, have good
Exactly.
posture.
Like when I do those kind of heavier workouts, like I do CrossFit and some powerlifting, I do them like once, twice a week. That's it.
So I have a final question for you. So when is the point of no return, would you say, for improving our posture? Is it too late if you're just watching this and you're over 40 and your posture is maybe, it's hard to show or to say, but is it possible to come back and improve and straighten up and not get to that point where it's like a point of no return?
No, absolutely. At any age, I've helped people in their 70s improve their posture when they're just again like that letter C. I just would say when we get as we mature, sometimes we're stuck in our ways, so it takes a little bit longer for us because we might not want to adopt new things. But you can definitely at any age improve your posture at any age. And the thing is that it's going to help you is getting that customized care because I always see people they always go to YouTube. They start doing all these different exercises and everything. I'm like, why are you doing this one? Why'd you do this one? This one's actually not good for you. They're like, oh, I just seen it on YouTube, so I did it. So I always say when it comes to posture training, it's best to kind of maybe, get some help, make sure you're doing the customized exercises that are going to work for you and your condition.
Yeah, and don't just take a smattering of exercises from different
There you go.
videos.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for joining us. I think we covered so many common issues that digital nomads face, and I hope people watching now have a plan that they can go out and
Right.
and execute. But I do want to ask you, is there anything else you'd like to share that we didn't cover, including your Instagram and what you'd like to share so we can follow you?
Yeah, I always like to tell people just please stand up. Stand up. I have to sit for these long, extended periods of time. And guess what? If you stand up and walk around for 2 or 3 minutes, the work is still going to be there. It's not going to run away. And
I
then
think
just keep
people, they don't want to break their concentration. That's why I don't stand up sometimes. I'm like, I'm in the
right.
flow, and so they
No,
just
no,
skip.
no, no, no. Just get up, clear the mind for a second, because you'll come back with new eyes. You'll be like, oh, why was I doing that? Oh, you know what? Actually, this sounds better. So again, sometimes we just need to step away, clear the mind for the second, and then just get back to work, and things will become a lot clearer.
Okay. No, great
Yeah.
tip. My watch tells me to stand up and I ignore it. I don't have the best
Ignore
relate.
it. Yeah. We have all these devices and timers all around us. They're telling us to, do this for your body. And we ignore it. And actually, you go over this in my book, Stand Up, Upgrade Your Posture, Transform Your Life. You can actually pick up a free copy on my website, www.mikejonestoday.com. And where I actually tell people, show people the corrective exercises and stretches that they could use to help them to reduce that, lower back pain, neck pain, and also how to properly take a posture break.
Fantastic. And we're going to put all those links in our description on YouTube and
Awesome.
Spotify. And what was your Instagram again for those
My
listening?
Instagram is at Mike Jones today. Again, I'm putting up daily posture hacks and tips and things to just help you to live a pain-free lifestyle on there every day.
And that's just Mike, right? Mike
Yep,
Jones.
yep, Mike Jones today.
Spelling. Imagine. Okay.
Right.
Well, thank you again, Mike, for joining us. I hope everybody found a lot of benefits from this. I'm going to get one of those posture cushions. There's a lot to take away from this. So I wish you a continued pain-free life, Mike, and everybody watching as well.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.